I'm not afraid of you. First off, it's Charles J. That's just in case you ain't heard of me. They told me it was too late. But I promise that I'll be the first to speak. Most of these rappers, they fake. But you can't have your way, this ain't Burke Kid. Everybody said it won't be till they see smoke, then they realize they'd rather have turkey meat.
What it do? It's 903 Boxing. I'm your host, Charles J. Say, man, I had to do this. It's been a long time, and I feel like, yeah, we're gonna talk about it, but it's gonna get deep. Listen, don't come into this motherfucker with your feelings on your shoulder. You're gonna have to leave all your thoughts out of this shit. This is my thoughts. This is my goddamn channel. You motherfuckers can't tell me how to think. I know I will be judged for this video. Let me tell you something. I don't think you motherfuckers ready to hear this shit. I just don't think you're ready. But it's time that I talk about it because I'm done with the church. Yeah, I'm through with you. Listen, I don't have much advice for you. Ain't much I can tell you. I just gotta speak why I am through with the church. And I'm just through with religion, bro. I just gotta talk about it. By the way, I'm very qualified to speak on this. My pops was a preacher, granddaddy was a preacher, great-granddaddy was a preacher. However, I am not a preacher. Yeah, grew up in the church. I seen a lot of shit. Yeah. I just want to ask the people today, what do you believe? I mean, what do you really believe? Do you really believe, or do you just attend church because your grandmama taught you about it and you loved your grandma? Do you believe, or do you just love your mother and she was always there for you and she told you about the Lord? What do we believe today? I want to know, what do we believe in the church? Because at this point, I told you, the church is for black women, for one. It ain't no men in the church. And they have a gay church. And that's another thing we ain't spoke on. It's a lot of shit that we haven't spoke about. But the church, to me, is a place to just, get you a little release. It's similar to me hitting a blunt. Yeah, just a little release. All the frustration that you've been putting up with on that job all week. Them badass kids that's been fucking with you and tearing up shit all over the goddamn house. Or your boyfriend that you think fucking around with the next door neighbor or some shit. It's a lot of shit we go to church for. We just get a release from all the pain and the stress of life. That's what I think. It's we left the belief system. We don't talk about what we believe. We just done to hear. We don't even question the preacher no more. Just whatever they say, we take it, and and the more excited they get, the more excited. It's kind of like it's almost like a monkey see, monkey do. That's what I think. Yeah, when the preacher get crunk, we don't cry till the preacher get crunk and start tuning up and a lot of shit. And I just think that it's a place where we release our pain and we remember those we've lost. We remember, and it's a weird, but pain can bring joy. The release of pain can bring you joy and peace in life. When you can release that pain that's been built up inside you, that you've been wanting to explode. You've been wanting to beat the hell out that coworker that's been fucking with you. And the fact that you can go to church every Sunday and you can release all that pain that you've been feeling and all that third, and it give you just enough strength to get through the next week without beating the shit out that coworker. So it's a lot of reasons we go. Some of us go because we just want to show off how good we look. And another thing I got to say about the church, we're going to talk race and all that. We're going to talk about racism in church, and we're going to talk about the history of the church and a lot of shit that y'all don't never want to bring up because y'all say that's worldly things. Racism and us getting killed by the police and drugs in our neighborhood, drugs infested, mass incarceration. All those are just worldly things that the church don't seem to care about. The fact that we have lack of jobs in the community for young boys, it's just a lot of shit we just don't care about. We think it's worldly shit. Well, if y'all don't care about worldly shit, the church is the most worldly place in America. The church is the place where you can go be fly as shit, and you can get chosen. The church. It's a lot of shit. We go to look good. Look how the women dress. That's all you got. Why it ain't a goddamn dress code in the church? Why y'all don't tell the women to dress like women? The women dress like these models and these Instagram models. So it's a lot of shit. The church, it's a lot of shit going on in the church that's very worldly, in my opinion. So, like I said, the way these women be dressing, it's hard to pay attention to what the preacher's saying. It's very hard, and I can understand why some of you preachers get strained up. When you in a church full of nothing but women that are hurt and lonely, and you know, all that power can go to your head when so many women look up to you and they look for your guidance, and many of them want you. So a lot of times that's a lot of prayer. That's why I think that's very weird. Why would you know, preachers these days? It's weird, bro. You either gay or you a pimp, in my opinion. Because any man that wants to be around nothing but women and teach nothing but women, you either gay or you a pimp. Because a real man want to teach young men. I don't know where all you motherfuckers, men today are obsessed with making videos about women and their love life and how to help women out. I'm not interested in that. Black women, y'all need to listen to older women. That's why you have mothers of the church. That's really who the women supposed to listen to. Preachers used to love to teach young boys how to be men and teach young men how to be greater men. Don't get me wrong, he preached to everybody, but nowadays the preacher only preached to women. So if I'm just preaching to a bunch of women that's listening to everything I say, and many of them want me, you get off the word of the Lord, and you get sidetracked. It ain't a man in the world. I don't give a fuck how strong you are. When you in a church full of nothing but women, and they fine and they dressing, revealing shit and all that there, you can only be so strong. I can only focus on the word of the Lord so much when this girl got her legs wide open with this short ass skirt. I done forgot the goddamn scripture, all that. That's why they be reloading up, talking about their phone. And shit, they signal gone. Now he just can't remember that sermon because he looking at these women. So that's another thing. But let's talk about race in the church. For one, the black church, for one, we don't know where the money go. The black church is the only church where we don't know where the money go. The white church, we know where the money go because we see them. Churches got these white churches, they got bowling alleys and shit. They got all kind of places of business. They got big buildings they own and shit. They got big recreation gyms they own and shit. All kind of shit they got. Some of them got boxing gyms and shit. The church own a lot of shit. So the white church do. So what I'm saying is the black church, I don't see no more bake sales. It's a lot of shit. Where's the money going? You know, another thing I never liked about the church, the black church. You know, after that last offering, and that preacher finally wrapped that sermon up, you know, it usually be, you know, one of the main deacons and the pastor and one of the ushers and one or two other people. They all go back there and they get to that money and they close the door and we don't know what the fuck going on. And y'all always trying to act like them light bills so goddamn high and the water shit. It ain't that goddamn hard to keep up a church. It don't cost that much goddamn money to keep the church up. We just want to see where some of our money is going. We struggling. We sacrificing our paychecks and shit. A lot of shit, gas is high, food is high. So we giving you our money. We need to see where it's going. Actually, we do see where it's going. All you gotta look at these cars that these preachers drive. Look at how they dress. They got their name stitched in their clothing. So we very worldly. We want our name on our suit and shit. We want to be acknowledged. We get fly ass glasses and shit. So we're very worldly. So I don't think there's nothing wrong with bringing up the fact that what do you really believe, bro? What do you believe? What do you believe as a Christian? Because the history of Christianity, this Trinity or whatever we call Christian now, used to have Coptic Christianity, which was in Africa. Yeah, they got a certain kind of cross they wear. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But they didn't believe in the Trinity and all that there, and they didn't practice that Jesus died for them and stuff like that. The history of Christianity for black folks in America is slavery. Yeah, that's why we learn everything. Didn't no African come over here and teach us Christianity? No, it wasn't the Arab that came over here and taught it to us. No, the white boy taught us that. Yeah, when we worked Monday through Sunday, and we on Sunday after we done worked that morning, it get by 12, 1 o'clock. Yeah, one of them white boys with a white robe, he come and sit down up under the tree, and he preached to us and tell us about Jesus and the Bible. Yeah, the white boy read us the Bible. That's what we learned this religion. And we don't ever want to talk about that, and we like to breeze through that shit. Now they taught it to us. Not only did they teach it to us, they made the image of Jesus as white. And I know a lot of you motherfuckers say it don't matter what color Jesus was or he wasn't no color. Imagery is very important, especially to a child growing up. When you see your God as somebody white, yeah, that's how we see as our God in life is white. Yeah, the banks are white owned. Everything we need in life is owned by white folks. So 85 to 90% of the teachers in America are white women. So most of our kids are taught by white women. So everything about us is being groomed to serve and worship white people and see them as our gods. And I know a lot of you mothers can't comprehend what I'm saying, but imagery is very important. When you see your God as somebody that's white. Yeah, white Jesus is in all the black churches. A couple of them got black Jesus, but I'm just saying imagery is very important. But also that was taught to us during slavery. And I just want to break down some shit. When you think about the story, when you think about how the Bible switched, the Bible changed by 3 different times drastically. Yeah, when it got to Jesus, when we got to Matthew and Mark and all that, the Bible changed drastically. And it began, because before that it was war. Motherfuckers was dying. Yeah, we had killers and shit. God was fucking up shit, turn motherfuckers up. Yeah, all this and homosexuality, all that, he destroyed all them motherfuckers. And all that abomination, all that kind of shit. God was, he was tearing up shit. And there was consequences and repercussions. And there was wars over land, a lot of shit. But when Matthew and Mark started, it became a message of to endure, and that gives you strength, and that's how the world can be saved. Basically. So saying that to say, if that was true, because black folks have lived like Jesus for over 500 years. We have forgave white folks. Because if we hadn't forgave them, we would have been done, went off and acted a guy. We forgive them every police killing. Every time they drop dope off in our neighborhoods and our aunties and uncles are strung out, but go to jail when they get caught with the very drug you give us. We still forgive you because we are conditioned to forgive you. Christianity is the only religion in the world that has conditioned black folks to constantly forgive white folks. Nah, we ain't never held no grudge over nothing you done. When you fed our babies alligators, a lot of shit when you hung us, when you threw parties while we was hung in trees and ate barbecue and shit like that. It's a lot of shit, and we forgave you. So Christianity is the one religion that teaches to forgive your oppressor no matter what they do to you. But like I said, forgiveness ain't never saved black folks. It ain't never got us reparations. All this forgiving has not gave us land. So all I'm saying is that message ain't working for us. You know, it ain't got us nothing. It ain't getting us nowhere. That's just my opinion on it. Also, when you talk about Paul and when he came in the mix, they also don't talk about the fact that Paul used to hang with Barnabas. And also the book of Barnabas is missing. Why is damn near 2/3 of the Bible about Paul? Paul wasn't shit. Paul was a con man. Paul was a con man. Let me tell you what Paul was. You ever seen a motherfucker in your hood that he grew up and he was a Crip, and all the way up he was a Crip and he was beefing with Bloods, and then next thing you know, this motherfucker go to jail and go to prison and come out and he a Blood and he whooping on Crips? That's who Paul was. So what I'm saying is, white folks ain't never really gave us good shit or taught us some good shit for us. So if you taught me this religion, how can I trust you that you had my best interest? How can I trust that you taught me something that had, because if you really wanted to help black folk, y'all could have been helped us. Yeah, we could live in the same neighborhood and we could live how the Bible really say we supposed to live as one. We could be your next door neighbors and it wouldn't be no ghettos because America got the money and the power and the military and all that. So we would all be next door neighbors. It wouldn't be no white church. And if you still want to be a white church, you would donate to the ghettos so we can get just as rich as y'all and we can all live in harmony. And we can sing together. Y'all don't even like our songs. Yeah, y'all don't sing bread of heaven, feed me till I want no more bread. Y'all don't sing none of them kind of songs. So the church is very divided. It's very racially divided, and you motherfuckers can keep ignoring it. But if we really gonna be Christians, it shouldn't be no white church and a black church. And the white church shouldn't be rich and the black church shouldn't be poor. So you know, that's very worldly because the white communities are rich and the black communities are poor. So the white church is rich and the black church is poor. So it's very worldly. I don't see a lot of spirituality in the church because if it reflected spirituality, we all be one and it wouldn't be a poor group and a rich group. So this is part 3. I could keep going on and on, but at the end of the day, what do you really believe, bro? What do you really believe? So, you know, we talk all this forgiveness, but we can't even forgive each other. It's a lot of shit. We forgive them every time they do something to our child or lock one of our brothers. We forgive them every time. We forgive them every time they put a new drug on the street, but we can't forgive one another. And that's why we can't stand together. Because, you know, we're just a divided group of people. And that's what a lot of these preachers promote. Yeah, when my brother wasn't there, and when my sister turned their back on me, and my cousin turned his back on me, it was only the law, and all that stuff. And it just teaches us to just depend on the Lord, and the Lord will fight your battle. But throughout history, people had to fight together. So, you know, Christianity is becoming very lazy. You motherfuckers just want God to do all the work. You motherfuckers need to get off the couch and fight for yourself sometimes. So yeah, this is 903 Box, and I am your host, Charles J. With that, I'm out.